comfortable, and like you mentioned before, we're in a very intimate space. Like, this is the foundation of our union. And so, do we really want to start our foundation in a union where somewhere we, in my opinion, and no shade anyone is doing it, but to me, it will feel fake. I'm just like, if you're,
for me, it was just gonna feel strange.
Yeah, if you're handling me one way when my partner is not here, and then when she comes, oh hi, welcome, things like that.
Yeah, right, absolutely. So that's just using, again, we're using our knowledge, we're using our observations, right? So this is like really practical stuff.
Oh, my legs hurt. All right. Hey, what are you doing? We have to record.
I know. You really want to know what I'm doing?
Yes.
I am about to submit my final student loan payment.
Like right now?
Yes.
Like before we record?
Actually, I wanted, our higher thinkers to be part of the process. Yeah, so it will officially be at $0.00.
What's the final payment? What is it looking like?
So I'm going to be submitting a lump sum payment of $5,000. Don't tighten up. $5,469.88.
Like we're eating oodles and noodles.
No, because I saved towards it.
Okay, very good.
But you knew that. You know I'm the saver. You be trying to save the world.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Oh my gosh, my heart is like beating on my chest. Okay.
All right. Gotta press the button.
Okay.
Get to the button.
All right.
Ready? Press it together.
Okay. Ready? 3, 2.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. That's a lot of money. You sure you want to do this at one time?
Absolutely. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. I am the lender and not the borrower. Press the button.
Fine. Okay. All right. Count it down.
Okay. Ooh, my chest. Okay.
Don't.
3, 2, 1.
My allowance. Woo! I mean, good job, Shay. Woo!
Oh. It says thank you. Your payment has been scheduled for tomorrow. Okay, it's after the business day. But anyways, welcome to another episode of Thoughts Higher Than Mine. My goodness. This is our space. Wow, I'm sorry, my chest is burning. Whew. This is our space where we identify and overcome self-sabotage and poisonous thinking, those things that keep us from becoming our best selves.
So the point of this episode is to go from step 1 to step 2, to go from point A to point B.
And as always, we have our commitment at the end of our video. Please bomb the comments and tell us what is the next step you are going to be taking in your pursuit to fulfill God's will for your life. I know that y'all just watched me take my final step in this journey that I've been on for quite some time. Debt freedom. My face hurts. My face hurts. Like I'm shaking.
Yeah, she's about to pass out over here, guys. So pray for her. Ooh-wee.
Wow.
But it shows that in this topic that we're going to talk about today is a perfect example of the positives, the pros of making a decision.
So that's our topic today, right?
That's right.
Decisions.
Woo! So hold on, guys.
Wow. So
buckle in like that. I think that's my theme.
You always say buckle in. Yeah, buckle in.
Yeah, buckle in. Yeah. Right?
Oh my gosh.
Go for a ride. And so, drink some juice.
I didn't even get to drink my juice.
Yeah,
Today's juice of the day.
Welch's. Now, this is not a spot. We should be.
It should be sponsored by Welch's.
It's like $5.
One day it will be. And for all my Caribbeans out there, y'all know what this is.
That's right.
You can tell by the color.
That's right. And no, I'm not giving you any.
You know it's the passion fruit.
That's right.
I heard y'all already. Y'all done identified it. Come on now. But I'm gonna put it down for y'all. So let's jump right into it.
That was pretty heavy. I'm not.
You're absolutely right.
That was pretty
heavy is the right word, because my debt freedom journey started a long time ago. Like even before, coming to know you, us getting married, me becoming a parent, us becoming parents. I know you're gonna be like us. And
toss me out the window.
Yeah, but there was just something so prevalent that happened when I started to do a lot of soul searching, that I realized a lot of what was going on in my life or in my finances, in my thought processes, right, had a lot to do with who I thought I could be and how I believed I could live. And in previous episodes, we mentioned a little bit about our journey where I was on my own from young and then had to withdraw from college, all the things. And I ended up getting into financial education. And that, my friends, was a game changer.
My friends.
My friend. Because I started learning principles that challenged what I knew already, or what I thought I knew. Since I had to withdraw from college, I was at this place, remember, if you did not watch the episode, on obedience, the episode, just episode 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3, please go watch it. You guys will get the backstory. But as I had to withdraw, I realized that there has to be something I don't know about this thing that keeps limiting me, which in the moment was money, in the moment was finances, in the moment was provision. And I was like, something has to give, because it's not my intelligence. I have the capacity to learn. I have the capacity to master things, but I kept hitting this wall. So for me, that payment, babe, for me, that payment is breaking things.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm about to roll on this floor.
I'm telling you, out. I am trying. Oh, gosh.
My goodness. Uh-oh. Where's the juice? Ushers. And so while she's getting herself together, it goes back to the thought, to one of our earlier episodes, is that it's okay not to know, but it's not okay to stay that way.
Right. It's okay. It's not okay not to find out.
That's right. She found out.
Wow. And then once you find out, once you learn more, you are then accountable, or you should be holding yourself accountable to do better. I am so grateful, because what I've learned, I've applied. And now what I've applied, I can teach.
Woo. Put that in the book.
Oh my goodness. Babe, you're going to have to help me through this episode, because I'm falling apart.
Oh, Lord.
I am so grateful.
It's all right. Cameraman, look at me. All right. And so, one thing that you mentioned that was very powerful, this whole process started with a thought, and a thought that I'm able to do better, right?
Well, the thought process was, what am I doing wrong? That was the first thought.
Right.
I was laying on half of my best friend's bed, no job, withdrawn from school, not knowing what the next step was. And I knew that I wasn't any less than anyone else. And so I was like, what's wrong? And these are those intimate conversations that you have with the Lord, it's not always, so polished. Because I want to encourage somebody who might be having to make a decision that you're not sure of or something, or a hard decision, or a decision that's very time sensitive, where you're finding that you may not know all the things you need to know or feel like you know all the things you need to know to make an informed decision. But that's where your talks with God, where you say, God, I really don't know. Show me. And when he starts to show you, sometimes it might look like he's sending you in random directions. I am the epitome of detours. Like if there was a poster child for detours, it is I. I is it. But those those detours just ended up coming together. And again, I love how I don't think we met for the podcast to kind of be
progressive.
But I'm just so grateful. So it started out with, what am I doing wrong?
And you know what? While you were talking, what came to me is that if you're driving, for those who drive and there's a detour on the road, it could be inconvenient, but there's a reason for the detour. And if you follow the detour, you realize you still end up in the same place that you wanted to get to.
And then, get this, in the future, you might end up using the detour as a shortcut because it's added knowledge. You didn't know that way existed before the detour. So no part of your journey has to be wasted, in other words.
But it's all how you think about it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so that we encourage everyone to watch your thoughts. Like there's a progression, right? Because it starts with the thoughts. So watch your thoughts because they become words.
Yes.
Then you watch your words because then they become actions. And then watch your actions because they become habits. Now, the dangerous and the great part about habits is that if you cultivated, the right habits, is something that you'll just do subconsciously. It's going to be the benefit of you.
It builds a strong character.
Yeah, but then if you focus on the wrong things and, you're always negative, woe is me. I'm not saying we don't have our moments.
No, but if you have a habit of responding to everything negatively, you will notice that you are building and reinforcing negative parts of your character, which then inform negative patterns in your life.
And then subconsciously, you're just going to be negative. You may not mean it, but it's just going to naturally come out of you because you focused on it so much that it became part of you. It became part of your character.
Let's give a practical example of that. Have you ever had a response as small as this? You go into the kitchen and you try to go in the fridge to look for something, and it's the last of the juice. And you go, of course I get the last of the juice. Then you turn around and you got like exact amount of time to get to work. And you're speeding down the way. Don't do that, by the way, but you're speeding down the way.
Confessions.
And then as you're about 5 minutes away from work, that's when construction people come and close off your street. And you go, of course. But if you notice, that's a pattern of responding like you almost expect bad things to happen to you.
And if I could take it one step further, and y'all don't get mad at me, but a lot of times we're negative or we have negative responses because we just didn't do our due diligence sometimes. And what I mean,
self-inflicted.
Yeah, like what I mean by that, if you know it takes you 30 minutes to get to work, why you got to be to work at 9 a.m. Why are you leaving at 8:45 and you blacking that traffic?
Oh, Lord Jesus.
If you know you the last person that drank 3/4 of that Welch's passion fruit juice, sponsors, and You go back to the fridge and you shake it. It's like, oh man, who all drunk the juice? You drunk the juice. But yet, because it's inconvenient because you're not getting what you want, the immediate, gratification of what you want. Now it's like, woe is me, everyone. I'm just this negative person.
And that negativity, those patterns affect what we see in our life. So let's talk about what are some of the tools, right? That someone, even as small as a child, right? Because decision making does not start when you're an adult. It doesn't start when you get a job. It doesn't start. Decision making starts when you are a baby, right? The baby who likes the mashed potatoes instead of the mashed bananas, right? The baby who likes the carrots instead of eggs, or decides that they've had enough breast milk. My children were not like that, but kudos to you if you had children who decided that I'm good.
Still find them to this day.
Still trying to fight them off my breast. But anyways, God is good. So, so let's talk about, how important it is to just go back to our thought process, even as children. Like, were we allowed to make decisions? How did we feel when we were making decisions? And was there any like check-in of, if I am making a decision as a child and I look scared and I look to my caretaker for reinforcement, but I get a brash response or a minimizing response, what happens to us?
I mean, you just grow up self-conscious. You feel like every decision you make has more of a negative connotation than a positive one.
And like you said, that's subconsciously.
Yeah.
That becomes a blueprint.
That's right.
For how you approach your decisions. And you might not even know that. You might not even, as a kid, you don't get that. You're going through life for the first time, just like everybody else. So, all right. So we have 2 babies, right? We have 2 children. And being that we've been doing a lot of self-development and whatnot, what is one thing that you wished like your parents would have done from childhood to support your decision making that you do with your babies? Your babies, our babies.
I got used to it. Anyway, it's that's a really good question.
I already kind of know the answer because I'm your wife and I watch you all the time. But like, I'm curious to see what you think you do or what you notice or catch yourself doing in correction of what you didn't receive.
I think I had to learn that it's okay for my children to fall.
Okay, expound upon that.
And what I mean by that, like, if you have Caribbean parents, protective parents, that let you come home with a scrape of knee. Boy.
Yeah, it's gonna be, you are to blame. First and foremost.
Like, you could.
Why did you go running so fast? Where were you? Who told you to go outside?
It's Sacre Boyo,
Yeah, if you're Haitian, it's giving Sacre Boyo. Who sent you? Like,
that's the one phrase I know. All right, and so it's stuff like that, because then while growing up, I had to really work on the aspect of taking risk. Because as a child, that's children, that's the only thing that they do. They see an obstacle. I wonder if I could jump off it and if I'm going to be okay.
They are risk takers by nature.
And then, to piggyback on that, another thing is that if our children do fall, our reaction of the caretakers would nurture what their next move would be. Like, for example, like the smallest baby, our smallest child, he would run, slip on something, he would fall. And instead of us just being, oh my gosh, my baby fell, and then freak him out, he starts crying. He just like, I'll never forget, he was running, he was jumping all over the living room, slipped on a piece of paper, he fell, and he didn't cry. The first thing he did, he looked up his head and he looked at me. First thing that he did. And I said, you're right, buddy, get up. And what he did, he got up, turned back around, and almost slipped on the same piece of paper again. But
so there's some teaching that was needed there. But
like, move the papers.
Yeah.
But it just shows that they're looking, until they know how to react, they're looking to you to learn how to react.
And you know what's amazing about what you said? Us as the adult, we see them about to fall, and let's just say they do fall. After that, we try to almost, if we're not healed in certain areas, we will try to prevent them from falling.
You mean the bubble?
Try to put them in a bubble where it's going to be like they get up and they're fine and they're trying to run again. You're like, oh, no, don't run. Remember last time? And it's like, oh my gosh, we instill that fear where they were fine, thinking it's protection. But all of this is along the lines of decision making, because we decided to give that direction or respond in that way based on previous experiences.
It's kind of like teaching them that failure means to stop versus get up, try again in a different way to see if you succeed or not.
Ooh, my gosh.
And for me, that was a huge one for me, because
or a mistake, right?
Like, or a mistake. If you make a mistake and
just sit there.
Yeah.
Don't move.
Don't move.
So you don't risk making any more mistakes.
That's right.
My goodness.
Yeah, and then, like, as an adult, you just like, all right, cool. I applied for this job, it didn't go through. All right, cool. I guess I'm not taking that risk again. And then,
I'm gonna stay broke
forever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And because that it just instills a fear, and it's not the fear that a kid fell and scraped his knee. It's the fear of the like, dang, all right, this didn't work out. I don't like the feeling of this not working out because of what I went through. I don't want to feel this feeling again, so I'd rather not do anything.
And that's not healthy.
It's not.
Because a part of decision making is learning how to overcome when we make bad decisions, or when we make decisions that do not end in the outcome we want, right? Because it could be a good decision, but it wasn't the best decision.
Mm-hmm.
All my nurses out there, right? Mm-hmm. Y'all know on the NCLEX, right? The licensing exam, the best answer is what they're looking for. Meaning, technically, they can put other right answers on the exam. But which one is the best one?
That's right.
And as people, we have to learn what caters to what we're going through in the season we're in, right? And this is why we have to depend on thoughts higher than ours, right? No pun intended, though. Because if we are only depending on our own finite experiences, what we've gone through thus far, how will we ever take the risks that are required to move forward?
A great resource to be able to help unpack this more for my readers is a great book called Who Moves My Cheese?
Yeah, by Dr. Spencer Johnson.
Dr. Spencer Johnson. And I ain't gonna spoil it. Go read it.
It's such a good book.
It's a very good book. It's a short read. The premise of the book is about, mice. 2 mice?
It's 2 mice and 2 little people.
Yeah, 2 mice. I was going to say mouses. Whew.
Oh, please don't do that.
My English teacher's not watching, right?
What's his name? Big Jaw?
Who?
If you know, you know.
Right, so it's 2 mice and 2 little people. No, I'm going to focus on the 2 mice.
Mice? Mices.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Anyway. I'm going to focus on the 2 mice, right? They both had opposite outlooks on life.
On change, right.
Where they're placed in a maze, and if you know, like, how laboratories work, they put a maze and you put cheese in different stations, but then as soon as the cheese runs out, they either stay there or they have to keep moving looking for cheese. So one mouse had the optimistic outlook, just like, okay, if I found cheese in this station and we ate it all, there must be else. Let's keep going. And then the other one,
his best friend.
Watch who's your best friend.
Ooh, stop. You took the words out of my mouth. Hold on. Develop what you're saying, then we're going to touch on that.
Oh, my Lord.
Amen.
My goodness.
Yes.
All right. What was my thought? Woo. And then you have the other person that's supposed to be his best friend has a negative mindset is just like, you know what? Let's stay here and make this cheese last as long as possible because there's no guarantee we're going to find more cheese.
No, he actually didn't say there's no guarantee we're going to find more cheese.
He did?
No, he said there must be. The cheese has been replenished every day. So let's continue eating the cheese. They're going to continue to put more cheese. That's the problem, right? In the same area. He did not want to move from where he was at. He did not want to change. Whereas his best friend was like, hey, even if we do have to change, it's okay because we'll find more. And then he ended up in this negative mindset of blaming, everyone else for not replenishing the cheese. It became his cheese. So now it's a personal offense.
Yeah.
And
how dare you?
We oftentimes find ourselves in that poisonous mindset when we are making decisions.
So let's switch the words a little bit. Instead of finding cheese or the cheese being replenished, let's replace it with, all right, if I found the cheese here, am I willing to take the risk to keep going to the unknown to find more?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I assume that the cheese was here, someone is just magically gonna drop more cheese?
Correct. So if we sub out the words for cheese, we would say solutions, right? Are we growing into the type of person who can understand we know enough to make certain decisions, but in order to make an informed decision in a different situation, we may have to pivot. We may have to use a different approach. We may have to seek wise counsel elsewhere outside of ourselves. And all of that requires change, especially if you're dealing with someone who has trust issues. It's someone who deals with trust issues tends to try to make all their decisions by themselves. That is a decision you have to make to change, to start trusting others and their judgment and their experiences in order for you to move forward past where you are.
And as black and white as all of this sounds, all of these words are sounding great, it's not easy to do.
No.
Like, especially if you've been doing something a certain way for so many years, that experts say that to fully change a habit, it takes about 21 days of hard, consistent, daily work of changing a behavior.
And multiple cycles of 21 days for reinforcement.
That 22nd day is going to be coming. That old habit is going to be knocking on your shoulder.
That's correct.
Right? And so it's a continual process. Romans talk about it. We apply it to the word and we apply it to everyday life. Like, it talks about renewing your mind. Like, do not be conformed to the ways of this world, but renew your mind. And so if you have to renew something, that means that it's kind of like a computer. If you have to reboot or refresh a computer, that means you have to take whatever is in it already, get rid of it, and replace it with the upgrade. Replace it with the things that will benefit. Right?
Which means that there are some ways that we approach decision making that can become expired, that can become outdated,
moldy.
Because the way that I approach a decision personally, take for example, I can safely say that if it was up to me, if I was single, I probably would have, if I was in the same momentum of making these lump sum payments, I probably would have finished paying the debt off sooner.
I'm expensive.
But you're so silly. What? But we have to understand our decision-making change is based on the situation. When you have a household, when you guys are having combined finances where there's multiple things that are dependent on that income, you cannot just say, well, I have a project to accomplish and I'm just going to throw all of this, right? So we have to understand that we will get to the goal, but we might have to just adjust timelines when emergencies arise, when things like that happen. So that doesn't mean that you made a bad decision for wanting to become debt free. It just means that you have to like almost build in the detours or the possible detours. The point of the matter is understanding that you have made a decision that you will reach the goal. at some point or another?
You have to be flexible.
Ooh,
that's really what it comes down. Like the detour is just stretching and seeing how flexible you could be, right? How flexible your patience could be, your tolerance level, your annoyance tolerance level. I made that up. I'm not copyrighted. Because if we're really being honest, detours are very annoying.
Yes.
Detours are annoying because you don't know how far the detour is until you get back to the road or something that's familiar. There may be a chance that you ride the entire detour until you reach your destination. And like what you spoke about before, there's the aspect like you may have learned a new route of how to get to work. You just wish you didn't have to find that out while you're already running late.
While you're running late.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts, right.
And so all of that work comes together. And if we're really being honest, life, as much as we may not want to agree with it, life is going to make us make choices.
Right. Which brings us back to the fact that decision making starts as young as, toddlerhood, actually, right? Yeah. If not before then.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about what you teach, the kids about decision making, or how you get them through if they were unsure about making a decision or whatnot. I noticed that something that I do, because and I said this in past episodes, my parents, they raised my older brother and I to be extremely independent, and that was a life survival skill. Kudos to my parents. They did a phenomenal job. But that comes with its handicaps, because then you have to learn how to depend on others, right? God does not place us in this life to be an island. So when it comes down to it, it's great to be independent, but oftentimes the balance is God wants you to be well-rounded, right? He puts you in situations, and he says that when these situations come, it's supposed to produce perseverance, and that perseverance is supposed to produce a patience that perfects your maturity, right? I know the word of God is so good. So that means if I'm independent, most times a lot of my lessons are going to be catered to how can I learn to depend on someone or depend on a system in a healthy way. And if I'm too dependent, then a lot of my tests are going to stretch me to trust the Holy Spirit, to trust, that I can make a decision on my own without being coddled, right? So I want to kind of pivot a little bit. A lot of times we talk about making decisions, and we always want to have the greatest amount of time to make a decision. But we've learned in life, and we still learn it, not every decision gives us all the time in the world, right? Some decisions are very time sensitive. Mm-hmm. But just because you have to make a decision in a day about something, maybe you thought that you had enough credits to declare one major, and advisement calls you, is like, listen, no, you're not. Mm-hmm. You are not that close at all. So here are your options. How does somebody make an informed decision when it's a time-sensitive matter? What have you had in your experience?
Going back to my experience, going back to the previous episode where we're talking about music journey, right, with the master's program.
Yeah.
So to dig a little bit deeper, we didn't go into too many details because of time's sake, but there was a point where when I was applying for the master's program, I applied for a theory-based music education master's program with Queens College. And so did the application, everything is cool, didn't hear from the college. You all heard the story last time. And so they end up coming back to me, says like, hey, Steve, we got the application. We noticed that you're a music major. To qualify for this program, you have to be a music and education major.
What?
So that would mean if I wanted to qualify to take that master's program, I would then have to take a year of essentially prereqs with the master's school, right? To get the education portion up to par, then I could qualify to actually take the master's program.
Okay.
That would have been an extra year of school.
Right.
Might be a little bit more because, working, you're not doing school full time. So it was either that or switch over to a performance-based master's.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sitting there wrecking my brain, and my teacher's just like, see, a master's is a master's. They just care about the piece of paper. If you get a performance-based master's, you'll still work in the school because it's still teaching the same thing. Right? And so right then and there, I'm just like, okay, cool, switch everything over.
So you were able to lean on wise counsel, because in your head, it was like, well, I don't know. Well, you didn't really know which one to pick, but it was someone who had a little bit more experience in the area, who has seen outcomes past what you've seen, that was able to inform you on, what not to fear of when you're trying to make your decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. And so, made a switch over, and y'all heard the rest of the story. But that was a moment in time where it had to be made quickly, and the decision would, severely affect the progress of my education.
Yeah.
Goal, right. And so, seeking the wise counsel was definitely, like, there's, especially us men, like, we just got this pride. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not too much. All right. And so we just got this pride in the thing. Like, yeah, we got to be macho and find out. Like, we catch so many L's and we waste so much time fighting a battle we don't have to fight.
Just because you didn't want to ask a question.
Just because you didn't want to ask a question.
It doesn't make you less of a person.
No, not at all. It makes you more of a person, because it shows that, okay, I don't know something, I'm willing to learn something. That's strength, right? There's a lot of cracking me up here. That's funny. There's a lot of musclehead weak fools because they can't make a decision, and then there's a
musclehead weak fools.
But then, like, for context and purposes, right? Let's take Elon Musk, for example. Rather, if you hate him or you like him, that's not the point of him coming up. But he mentioned, I saw a quote, I forgot what I was reading. He says that he doesn't have a Harvard degree, but he has people who have Harvard degrees working for him. And so that decision to launch all of those, as risky as it is, if you guys see the news, you saw the whole SpaceX thing, it went up, came back down, it didn't work. And then did he quit? No, he kept going. And then, the Cybertruck came out, and now my son wants one because he thinks it looks like a Transformer.
That's correct.
So I gotta figure that out in 15 years when he's ready to drive it.
That's 15 years.
Right? And so it's just a decision to get up and keep going. And you'll be surprised that if you're really committed to change and the decision of doing better, God will open up the doors where you will talk with people that have more wisdom than you do, that have more, credentials that you do, that will be able to answer the question in 2 seconds versus you trying to go and study a topic for 2 years to try to find a question.
Right. Or just sitting in your own head, like I said earlier, with your finite knowledge, right?
Musclehead and dumb.
Right. So time-sensitive decisions, I think they have value, because there are times that I believe that the Lord allows these decisions, these quick decisions that we have to make. He allows them to come our way to see who we trust, to see what we trust, to see how much we're actually learning from our experiences thus far. I truly believe that time-sensitive decisions really depend on experience, whether it belongs to you or another. Now, I would counsel you, if it's time-sensitive, to go to someone who has experience, kind of like in the area you're looking to grow in. Take, for example, so when I entered into the financial education world, this was presented to me in a business model. Had I gone through the wrong counsel, like someone who only believes in go to school, get good grades, get a good job, they would have talked me out of the opportunity to learn and grow a business when I didn't even have anything in my hand at the time, right? Because they are going to push what they know out of protection, right? So this is talking about weighing the counsel that we receive, because ultimately you're the one who's going to have to make the decision based on the information that you collect. But I went to people who had businesses, either in the same business or in other areas of business, who said, yo, if you're the type of person who doesn't mind learning a lot very quickly in the beginning and to have a payoff in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years, I would at least try. And that's what time-sensitive decisions are for many times. It's about, are you willing to try something new, even though you do not know a guaranteed outcome? Because remember, it's not always about the outcome. It's about the journey. What is being built in my character along the way?
That's right.
Because even if I don't continue on in 2-3 years with that business, right? I could never say that I didn't learn anything from that experience, because look at what just happened at the beginning of the video. The first time that I heard that debt freedom was a thing or was possible was when I went to that opportunity meeting, because it was part of the company's mission statement. I was like, debt freedom? I'm in debt up like the wazoo right now.
All my life.
We're talking about debt freedom. That's possible? And to think that
just happened.
12 years later, I just paid off my last loan.
That's right.
Because of the information that I was willing to take a try on in a time-sensitive matter, right? So let's switch the script now. So that's time-sensitive. How does making long-term decisions differ from the time-sensitive ones?
I feel like, how can I answer this? I feel like they coincide. I feel like time sensitive,
they do and they don't.
Yeah, from my perspective, I feel like what the time sensitive, like you have between now and tomorrow to make a decision.
Right.
But the long term, even within that time sensitive, it's still a long term decision, because you have to live with that decision that you made.
Yes and no.
Expound.
Because some time sensitive decisions, you're not always stuck in them. Does that make sense? Because it's very situational. Take, for example, the opportunity for the business, right? If I was in the business a month or in 2 weeks, I could have decided, not for me, and gone on with my merry way, right? So I think what you're leaning on, though, is the fact that I never know how leaving the business would have affected me long term. There's just no way to quantify that. But I didn't have to stay in that decision because, again, it was a try. Mm-hmm. But let's just say this is a business negotiation, maybe for real estate. That's buying a great example.
Yeah, buying a home, absolutely.
Right? Where it's like, oh my gosh, maybe you put in an offer and they accept the offer, but you try to put in an offer for more than one house. You prefer one house over the other. Both of them accept your offer. What do we do?
Okay. So that's why I say it kind of coincides with each other, because both houses accepted your offer.
Right.
You have to choose one in a certain amount of time.
Correct.
that's time sensitive as well.
It is.
It's a time sensitive decision that's going to affect you long term. So
right.
So it's a time sensitive long term decision.
But not every long term decision is time sensitive.
Right. That is true.
Yeah. So those are the ones I'm trying to lean on, the long term decisions that are not time sensitive. How do you approach those?
I guess I still approach, me personally, I still approach them as time sensitive.
Okay, explain.
The reason why is because if it's going to be a long-term decision, I'd rather get it started as quickly as possible to get through that process as quickly as possible.
But what if you cannot get through the long-term decision quickly?
I'm going back home. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
What? Okay. Take
Maybe
for
I need an example, right? Yeah,
I'm going to give you an example. When we were in our marriage, our engagement season, and there was a whole tug of war over us in ministry.
Story for another
Each
time.
of us were a strong player in our respective assemblies. And we were about to become one. We're from two different cultures. Icy, Shelly. But yeah, so it's like, and he's America. So it's like, how did we go about making the long-term decision of where we would go to be fed spiritually as a unit? Like, what were some of what were some of our, pros, cons that we were weighing, and things of that nature? How did we come to the decision of having, the home church that we were at for 8 years at that time?
The first thing, so guys, the first thing I encourage you to do, especially any important conversation or decision you have to make, is pray.
Absolutely.
Bar none.
Thank you.
I don't care what it is. You have to pray. Because you can make the most logical decision. Ooh. That does not mean that is the correct decision in the path that God has for you.
Wow.
So during that period, we prayed.
And fasted.
Oh, yes, we did. I may have to go on another one. Anyway, we prayed, we fasted, and during that time, we started seeing more and more things from both sides that really opened up our eyes, and it really kind of solidified the decision. I'm just like, okay, if this is going on now and we're not even married yet, and this is for me, right? Me talking to myself as a future husband at that point. Do I feel comfortable bringing my new family in an environment where it already kind of started hostile? Like, it kind of, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. when I feel comfortable, all right, you said what you said, they did what they did, but I'm still going to bring my family. Nah.
Right. So if I'm understanding properly, you were looking to see if where you currently were, if that was kind of like the ground you wanted to build on.
Right. Because once I saw how things really were, you can't go back to not seeing that.
Ooh.
So then
and I had a similar experience as well, where I started and really through prayer, I started to ask the Lord, like, God, it's two cultures coming together. We want to be unified. Like, is it that we're going to just support each other and, and go to both churches, and serve both churches faithfully because of how my church schedule was earlier than yours. So technically we could have made it work. But again, that's logically. But it's about, God, where do you want us to set our flag right now? Show us what we're not seeing. So again, thoughts higher than ours, right? Because God's ways are higher than our ways, His thoughts higher than our thoughts. And that's when, as you said, we started to kind of see certain things going on with leadership, certain things. And then we started to have to ask ourselves, well, is this where we want to build? It's not that anything was wrong per se, but we're entering into a new season where we're about to birth a generation, right? At some point, we would be thinking about having children and whatnot, and how that would look bouncing between, two churches. And there's no shade to anybody who has that situation going on. Right? That's why we said that every situation is different.
100%.
So we had to kind of just figure out what was going to work, but we didn't have enough experience to make that decision without trusting the Lord. And so he started to open our eyes, for sure.
And open up eyes, and definitely sent wise counsel to kind of lead the path. It was still ultimately our decision to make, but the wise counsel kind of steered us in the right direction of what we should do.
But our story was a little bit different.
I'm talking generic, girl. I'm not talking about
right. But I'm saying it's it's a valuable piece to mention, because as we were praying, the Bible says that we not only have to pray, but we have to watch. So as we pray and we ask the Lord what to do, we have to ask the Lord to open our eyes to see when the answer's in front of us. And interestingly enough, our old home church, we actually, we came into agreement in spirit through eye contact. We were in that assembly. We just looked at each other, and it's just like, this is here. It's here. Yeah. It's here. And once you feel that confidence, right? It's just, you can't even go back.
Yeah. And so I encourage everyone on here. I encourage on two aspects. The Bible talks about watching and praying. And so there will be times where God's answers will be through your eyes and not through your ears.
Oh.
You have. So it wasn't like an audible voice. It's just like, all right, the thunder, remember Moses, right?
Here.
The cloud.
Plant your flag.
Leave. Yeah, you know what I mean? It wasn't anything like that. But then, we saw it and we got the prick in our hearts, and we're just like, do we really feel comfortable? And like you mentioned before, we're in a very intimate space. Like, this is the foundation of our union.
Wow.
Do we really want to start our foundation in the union where somewhere we, in my opinion, and no shade anyone is doing it, but to me, it will feel fake. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, if you're...
For me, it was just going to feel strange.
Yeah, if you're handling me one way when my partner is not here, ooh, and then when she comes, oh, hi, welcome, things like that.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. So that's just using, again, we're using our knowledge, we're using our observations, right? So this is like really practical stuff. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, like you just mentioned, people, a lot of times are waiting for God to be like, go right, go left, and then the red house. Like,
on the corner. Yeah, no. It doesn't work that way, no.
Not at all. So when it comes down to it, long-term decisions, understand that many decisions, contrary to popular belief, long-term decisions, a lot of them can be corrected if you have patience and if you give grace. I think that sometimes we make like for example, let's just say that you did purchase a property that you didn't see.
You didn't check the foundation.
You didn't check the foundations. You got excited. You made an emotional decisions. That might have to be another
part 2.
episode.
Yeah. Ooh, my Lord.
You made an emotional decision, a long-term decision based on short-term feelings. Depending on what it is, if enough time is allotted to you, it doesn't have to be a complete loss, because experience is experience. You can learn from it.
That's right.
And the time is going to pass anyway.
That's right.
So are we going to spend the time sulking in, oh man, I made a horrible decision? Oh, no. Feel the emotions. And I keep going back to children, right? Mm-hmm. As children, we are learning how to make decisions from young. And if we have hover parents, if we have parents who try to protect us from making bad decisions, I mean, not the ones that are unsafe, right? Not the ones that are unsafe.
Wisdom, people.
Within a safe environment, just letting your child watch them to see if they will use knowledge from the previous, I'm thinking of when we sent JT to camp with the money, right? And we literally were teaching him about money principles for a few days prior to that. And we said, okay, it's one thing to talk about it.
You got to apply it.
But you have to apply it.
You have to apply it.
And God knows that. He will put you in situations to have to apply the knowledge, apply the lessons, apply the sermons that you've been listening to, applying the podcasts you've been listening to, applying the lectures, all the things that you've been absorbing. Because there is such a thing as overconsumption, where we know all these things. The Bible says, what is it? You have
information overload. Like,
right.
That's the C version of it.
It's like having the knowledge of God, but not
like the knowledge of God. We'll put it on the thing.
Right.
But the knowledge of godliness, but denying its power.
Denying its power, right? We know a lot, but ain't doing nothing with it. Mm-hmm. So we have to go through these decisions. And when tough decisions come your way, listen, James says in the book of James, it says to count it all joy. Some decisions come in the form of trials. In the middle of a hard time, you will find that you will have to make hard decisions. That's just the reality. Mm-hmm. I want to give a story time, kind of to wrap up. Because I feel like this decision episode is just, we still haven't gone into the cost of waiting too long. It's just, oh goodness. Story time, right? And I know you remember this. We had been gifted a furniture set.
Oh, man.
Before we got married.
Oh, Jesus.
Beautiful. I mean, like Italian furniture.
That joint was heavy.
Heavy duty, like.
Not heavy.
I mean, it was good quality. And so at the beginning of our marriage, like straight from the beginning, we fell on some hard times. Now we had
we started. We didn't even fall. We just got up hard times.
Oh my goodness, just dived in to hard times.
That's funny.
And we were like, okay, we don't have the space right now. Like where we were living could not put that whole, was it a bedroom set and a living room set? So this is like thousands of dollars worth of gift.
Yeah.
We decided that we were going to put it in a storage unit. Now, I remember we were about to get married and I was between jobs. You were working the part-time with York.
Oh.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the split decision, right? I remember that we were getting married on the Saturday, right?
Yes.
I had been called in for an interview. And it was a great opportunity. And I was like, yeah, they were looking at my resume. They're very impressed. They're like, oh my goodness, wonderful. And so they were like, okay, well, we have a trainer that's coming from Nevada, whatnot, to do the training. And the training starts November 20th. The training was going to be, what was it? How long? Like 4 weeks or something like that, 3-4 weeks. And I said, okay, wonderful. Are there any other start dates? You know why I asked that? Because our wedding date was November 18th. Okay? Follow me here. They said, and then when I asked that question, I kid you not, all I saw them do was close my resume, close the book. They're like, well, if you need to start any later, then this is probably not going to be for you because he's coming. He's already booked flights, everything, whatever, and he's not able to reschedule. And I was like, well, hold up, wait a minute. I didn't say no.
I was asking a question.
I was just asking a question. here's the thought process. We're getting married November 18th. I would have to start the new job November 20th, which would mean that we would have to postpone our honeymoon. I know, you guys are like, oh, but guess what? We were broke. So you talk about time-sensitive decisions. This is talking about maturity, right? We have to do another decision thing because what do you base good decisions off of? Like we haven't even had a chance to go over that. But so I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm getting married. I want to have a honeymoon, but we're broke, and I would rather eat something at the end of the day with my husband than be on the street. So I was like, oh girl, don't even worry about it. I didn't even tell them I was getting married. I didn't even tell them why I asked. Because for me, I didn't want them thinking, oh, no, she's gonna, oh no, she's gonna flake, she's getting married, she's gonna show up. I was like, listen, November 20th, give me a handshake. And they were like, welcome to the team. Came back home. I was like, honey, your girl got the job, but we're gonna have to postpone that honeymoon real quick. But at the end of the day, that decision was based off of the fact that there was a maturity to accept delayed gratification. This was also part of life experience. We got to do a part two.
So that time-sensitive decision affected us for the long term.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's a time-sensitive long-term decision. Yeah, I know I'm making sense.
But then again, the job that I ended up getting, right? And then you were working part-time. We were sending the payments, we were sending the payments to the storage unit for the furniture.
Man, they played us.
Until we were not able to send the payments anymore. But that'll be for the next episode. Yes, I did a cliffhanger. Yes. You have to come back.
Yes. So commitment time. We want to hear about a time where you may have to make a hard decision.
Yeah.
We want to, let's hear about it. Let's hear your story. Was it a good decision? Did it turn out to be a learning experience? We won't say bad decisions. Okay? It's a learning experience.
Hey, man, babe, that's a good. Yes.
Thank you, right? It's only failure when you stop, when you give up, right? And so...
Jesus.
All right. And so we want to hear your story, right? We want to connect with you guys. We should have done this in the beginning of the video. Please like. So we just jump straight into it. Please like and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. We really love the support that we've been receiving. Yeah. If you guys have any topics, let us know.
Yeah, that we want to talk about. I'm pretty sure we have some story time about it. We done been through a lot.
Yeah.
But
right. And so, we're really excited. So thank you for joining us for this episode. Tune in next week for the next series episode of Thoughts Higher Than Mine.
So dramatic.